Rainier Avenue Radio.
How would COVID vaccines work in your body? Here are 3 things to know. Number 1, a vaccine is basically a training session for the immune system. Vaccines teach the immune system to look for the key features of a virus. So when a virus does show up, it's ready to fight it off. Number 2, a vaccine gives your body a plan to recognize the virus. Then your immune system starts preparing by making antibodies, or fighter cells, that stay in your blood as protection in case the virus tries to invade. What this means is you get immunity against the disease without having to get sick first. Number 3, when enough people's bodies know how to fight off a virus, it has nowhere to go. That slows the spread. When people get a vaccine, we're able to stop the spread quicker and get closer to ending the pandemic. To learn more, go to covidvaccinewa.org. A message from the state of Washington.
Hey yo, what's good? It's D-Money of Fresh Juice every Wednesday, 9 to 11 p.m. Playing new hip-hop and R&B. We got a couple of wonderful guests to talk to you about coming on the March 16th speech of legendary Arrested Development coming through. Plus, Seattle's own Art Bay will be joining us live in the studio. That's Fresh Juice Wednesday, 9 to 11 p.m. Hosted by myself, D-Money, Pint Size Patrol, and ID Yourself. Join us live.
Kind of nonsense conversation we're having here.
The Neon Ghost Show. The Neon Ghost Show. Right here on Rainier. What's it? Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Right about now.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm so tired. I have to pee.
This message is brought to you by Public Health, Seattle and King County, the Washington Department of Health, Washington Chapter, AAP, and Within Reach. No matter where your classroom is, whether in person or online, routine vaccinations protect your child from serious diseases like measles, mumps, and chickenpox, and they keep your child safe, healthy, and thriving. Need help finding a provider? Visit parenthelp123.org or call the Help Me Grow Washington hotline at 1-800-322-2588.
Here with the Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update. You can listen to us in your car 24/7 anytime by downloading the free TuneIn app. Once you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This is the Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update.
Happy Women's History Month. It's Friday. This is Brenda Charles-Edwards. I'm the host of Seniors Matter. We are live every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world, your community radio station. You can also listen to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, Twitter, and of course on the Rainier Avenue Radio app. We feature interviews with people that provide services or have valuable information for seniors, their families, and the community. Do you need financial documents notarized? Are you a senior that needs documents read to you for clarity or completion? Call me, Brenda, at Black Orchid Notary, 206-683-2636. Tell me where, I'll meet you there. As you know, this month is Women's History Month, and today my guest is Sarah Dean. She is the president of the National Council of Negro Women. And Sarah, please come in at this time.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
So much has been going on, and I'm sure a lot of people are reacting. I know there's a place that I do some part-time work at, and they're kind of freaking out over the mask mandate being lifted. So all I can say, folks, is take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, you're taking care of others.
True. Very true. Very, very true.
So a lot has been happening in the world, and especially in the National Council of Negro Women. I understand there's a new president and CEO.
Yes, we have a new president. Our former president, Dr. Janetta Besh Cole, stepped down so that she could deal with some health issues. She felt at over age 80 that she wanted to spend her remaining time, doing some other things, and she couldn't give NCNW all that she wanted to, but she set an amazing vision for us to go forward. She just came in with so much energy and so much power and so many connections. She's the person who was the executive director of the National African American Museum. She's the past president of Spelman College, past president of Bennett College. Just an amazing, powerful woman who has done so much for women all over the nation. She actually was even the president briefly of Washington State in Washington, of Washington State University.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
and,
my.
and so she tried that for a little while. Her heart is really with African American young women. And so she returned back to heading up the colleges there. I think she's retired about 6 times. And so as the CEO of the National Council of Negro Women, she's retired again. And the person who is taking her place is Dr. Thelma T. Daly. And she is a longtime NCNW member. She actually was a member during the Dorothy Height reign. And so I think she's the 8th or 9th president national president that we've had. And so she served as vice president and many different offices. And so we're really excited to have her on as our new president and CEO.
When did the organization began, birthed?
Well, December of 1935, that was our Founders Day. And it was founded by Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, who was the very first leader of NCNW. And just to think that this is an organization that the purpose was to bring all the women together under one umbrella. And that's how the name came, National Council of Negro Women. So we have 23 affiliates or 33 affiliates. And those affiliates are organizations that have a like mind, that National Council of Negro Women, the same mindset as we do with the social and economic and community service that we do. And so you can be a part of the Deltas and still be a member of the National Council of Negro Women. You can be a AKA, you can be a Link, you can be Top Lady of Distinction. So all of those organizations are under the umbrella of the National Council of Negro Women. And we have the affiliate meetings and affiliate things so that we support them, they support us, and their members. We have several members that are in many of our affiliate organizations. And then we have several affiliate organizations in Seattle that are actually dues paying members of National Council of Negro Women.
Wow. So can you tell us a little bit about women who led this organization over the years and the impact of each one of them? For instance, Dorothy Height, how did she play a role?
So Dorothy Height is really fascinating. She started as an intern for the White House under Eleanor Roosevelt. And Eleanor Roosevelt had just started with wanting to improve the lot of the Black community. At that time was called the Negroes, improve the lot of the Negroes in the society. And she just had a heart for people and for civil rights and for equal justice and for giving people an opportunity to excel. So one day she was going down to meet with Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, and Thelma Daly was working in the office. And so she thought, well, give me this information, do all of this, kind of menial stuff to get her ready so that she could go. And then she decided that where she was going wasn't that far away. So she decided to walk. And so they decided to walk. So she asked Dorothy Height if she would like to come with her. And so Dorothy Height said, of course, yes. And so she went with her. And from that moment, Dorothy Height was just taken with NCNW and what Dr. Bethune was trying to do. And she became the president of NCNW and served for over 40 years. She's the one and only president emeritus of the organization. And when she passed away, they had several different presidents that came through that time, several different presidents that came after her. So I think we're on our 9th national president, but now we limit the terms of the president. Where she served for over 40 years, now our president's national president can only serve for 8 years, and then we move to getting another. We get a different president after that.
Right. What about Ingrid Saunders?
So Ingrid Saunders had a really great role as the president, because what she saw is that we were not fiscally responsible. We were bringing in money. We own this fabulous building. We're the only organization that owns a building, a home. It's a huge, it's not a house. It's like a huge building. Has a grand ballroom in it. It has a reception area. It has apartments. It has, it's just huge. At 1633 Pennsylvania Avenue, or 1600, I get them mixed up because it's right down the
1600.
It's right by the White House. It's within walking distance.
I love it.
It is the only place owned by African American women that we can go to, and they have their meetings there. They have other things that are going on there. And so when you go to visit, and the house is located right when you come out of the house, it's right where slaves were sold. Slaves were actually sold there. There's an area where when the slaves
auction block.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's an auction block, and it's within. You just walk out the door and look over to one side, and you can see that place. And so it's a very historical area and a very historical building.
So Sarah, can anybody go into it, or do you have to show membership or something?
Anyone can go in, but you don't get to go all over it. You can only go into like the reception area. And then sometimes they have tours. So if you have an appointment, and of course now with COVID, they're not taking people in. But if you have an appointment or a meeting or something going on, then you can actually go in. So when I went to the national conference, and we walked from our hotel to the building. And so we were able to go into the reception area and to see the ballroom area, but we couldn't go into certain parts of the building. But it's just beautiful. It's like walking into an old school parlor. They have the beautiful paintings of Dr. Bethune and of Dorothy Height, and the old-fashioned, chairs where you can sit down and chat and, wait for someone to bring you tea or something like that. But it's a wonderful building, just the history of it. So when Ingrid Saunders came in, there were a lot of things with the building that needed work. It needed plumbing, it needed remodeling, it needed all of these different things. And so what she did was to get NCNW into a fiscal position where we're not just raising money to give away, but we're also raising money so that we can be of service to the community, but we can hold on to that house and make that house look like a wonder, maintain the wonderful history that it is. And so her thing was to say, her model with NCNW was, we are alive, we are well, and we are solvent. and
Right.
she made us solvent. She, whipped things into shape so that financially NCNW was able to make all of the different corrections with the plumbing and the pipes and all the other different things and still maintain the work we were doing. So she really was a very wonderful financial person. And so each president has brought something to us with their skill set and what they're best at. So it's been really exciting I've actually, since I've been in NCNW, I've only been under the past four presidents.
Well, last Saturday I had an opportunity to go to the Wow Gallery. Yes, I missed going in December.
Oh, I know.
But I went with two other friends, and it was very impressive. And I saw the paintings of Dr. Bethune and Dorothy Height, and I believe wasn't Dr. Cole there too?
Not yet.
Not yet. She's coming.
We
Okay.
hope. We hope. There's no guarantee. They're going to do 100 women. And so we're really hoping that Dr. Cole is one of them, but it's up to the artists, of course.
Right. And then Dr. Mims is in there too.
Yes. So and then the painting with Dr. Bethune is so nice because it's the picture of when she started the girls' school with hardly any money, and they sold sweet potato pies and made bacon sandwiches or whatever for the construction workers in order to build the school, which is now Bethune-Cookman University.
Well, I did a selfie with that picture.
Oh, you did? They let you?
I sent it to Yvonne.
Yeah, you need to send it to us so we can put it in the newsletter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Will do.
because we took a picture with that when we went to the gallery, and it was just wonderful. And then they have cards you can buy cards of Dr. Bethune too. And so when Janetta Cole stepped down, I was able to send her a card from the Wow Gallery with Dr. Bethune and the girls.
Nice.
So that was really nice to have.
Very nice. So during Women's History Month, why do these women have significance?
Well, the powerhouse. I mean, these are you're talking about powerhouse. You're talking about someone who starting with Dr. Bethune, being the child of the 15th child of 17 children, parents being slaves, the only child that was born not into slavery in that family. And she wanted to go to school. She wanted to be a missionary, and she walked to school miles to go to school every day as a little girl. And then she would come home and teach her brothers and sisters how to read and write. I mean, just everything she learned in school, she taught them. And then she found out that she couldn't be a missionary because they didn't allow Black missionaries. And so they told her, you can't be a missionary. So she was like, well, I have all this knowledge. I can share my knowledge right here in my own community, and I can help people to learn to read. And that's when she started her school. So you look at that, it's just amazing. Then you look at, and she also was the first Black woman ever appointed to a presidential cabinet. And so that is very impressive also. And so with her friendship with Eleanor Roosevelt blossomed into opportunities for her to do things with civil rights, to move the Negro race forward, to keep us from being slaves or chattel or the way that we were treated. And this is a woman who ended up from humble beginnings to sitting next to presidents and advising President Roosevelt and other presidents. Dorothy Height actually advised 5 presidents. And so when you think of that, that she was right there for Obama's inauguration. She was right there with both of the George Bush presidencies. She was actually the person who was supposed to speak at the March on Washington in 1963. Dorothy Height was supposed to speak there. She was the only woman that they had on the program. And she saw John Lewis, and she knew this young man had so much to offer, and he wanted to speak. And she gave her spot up so that he could speak.
Oh my
at the
goodness.
March on Washington. Yes. And a lot of people don't even know that.
No, I hadn't heard that before.
Yes.
That's amazing. See, this is why I always say we stand on the shoulders of great ancestors.
We
And
really
they don't have to be 100 years old.
No, you know that you can go back and look, but then you can look right in our history and see, and then it's turnaround. So when Dorothy Height was with the civil rights movement, Thelma Daley was a young lady who was invited by Dorothy Height to go to the March on Washington. So she was able to actually witness that at a young age. And so then she became part of the National Council of Negro Women. And she met Fannie Lou Hamer. She met all of, of course, Martin Luther King, Coretta Scott, all of these people. And she's passing that on, her knowledge, to the other young women. And she also was the 16th national president of the Deltas organization.
My goodness. If you're just tuning in, you're listening live to Seniors Matter with your host, Brenda Charles-Edwards, on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world, your community radio station. We're here every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do you know what's the best gift you can give yourself and your loved ones? Join me on Zoom for a group or individual session on Speaking of Dying, End of Life Planning. You can reach me at 206-683-2636. Now back to Ms. Sarah Dean, President of the National Council of Negro Women Seattle Section. So, is it true that Dr. Daley came to Seattle?
Yes. So under Mary Hopkins was the president at the time of the Seattle Section National Council of Negro Women, and it was right after Dorothy Height passed away, and we wanted to have an event in commemoration of Dorothy Height. And so Reverend Dr. Laverne Hall put together kind of like a memorial service, local memorial service for us to have in honor of Dorothy Height, and it was held at Mount Zion. The part was held in the sanctuary, and then we had a luncheon after that, and Dr. Thelma Daley was the keynote speaker.
Oh my.
And so we had a luncheon, and so she came to Seattle for that, which was very exciting. She was also close friends with Dr. Mona Bailey, who was a part of the Deltas and also a national president. And she's just a wonderful, energetic, I want to say young woman, but she's born in, I think, 1927. So she's been around a while, but
Yes.
You would not know from the energy that lady has. So she is full of energy. She does a lot of educational training in helping people. And just when she came to Seattle, she had a little tete-a-tete with us in the parlor, and she just talked and took pictures with us and complimented us on wearing hats and all of the things we were doing, but just a super elegant lady. And so I'm really happy that she, was in line this time to move into the CEO position.
Now, is there a display of her at the Northwest African American Museum here in Seattle?
There was a display, and it was up for quite a while. It was a display that it was a Delta display, but they had the discussion. So the way that the window, it was in a window, and then it had the Dr. Daley speaking and narrating and talking about the Deltas and the organization. And then it had a lot of Delta memorabilia and history of the Delta section that is here in Washington State.
I see.
So it was really great to see that. And she's all over our internet because with the NCNW website, because she does a lot of training in order to help us to grow our sections and in order to help spread the word that to be a member of NCNW, you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to, you don't have to be all of these other things. You just have to have a heart of service. And you have to just want to really serve the community and work with the community. And so she's really good at emphasizing what we do.
So now is the time that I say, congratulations, Sarah, on becoming the regional president for the Rocky Mountain Regional Alliance.
Thank you. Thank
Yay!
you. Yeah, that's really kind of exciting because if you go to, when I started going to the conferences, I started noticing that when they elected officers, no one from the West Coast, unless they were California, got elected. So if you were from Washington or New Mexico or Oregon, Colorado, you didn't have enough people in order to help you move to the next level. And so your delegates come from New York and you bring 80 delegates with you from New York City, and then upstate New York has another section and another section, and you find out someone's running from your state. Chances are you know them, you respect them, you're going to vote for them.
Right.
But if someone from our section comes and they go to run, nobody knows them, they like them, maybe that's great, but you don't have any connection. And so a few years ago, one of the groups in, I believe it was the Phoenix Metropolitan Arizona section, they and the other sections got together and they started a Rocky Mountain regional section so that we could also get our candidates in to run for office, and we could get some representation of our states also when they sit down for the national decision making. We would have a person at the board, and so we formed an alliance. It's called the Rocky Mountain Regional Alliance. We formed an alliance with those states: Colorado, Nebraska, Washington, Oregon, New Mexico, Arizona, and I think I got them all, but we formed an alliance with those states. And then we elect our own. It started out as regional coordinator, but we moved it to president so that we would have the same title as the state presidents do. And so I'm actually the third person elected. The first person as president, but the third person as the coordinator of that group. So
what are your plans for the region? And
we had a wonderful regional conference. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we couldn't meet in person, but we had a great turnout. We had wonderful speakers from the national organization. We had great topics. One of the ones that you hosted was for the entrepreneur. We had the health topic. We had the law topic. And so we had a really great symposium, and it was extremely well attended. And we wouldn't have been able to do that. We had more people come, I think, because we were actually not able to meet in person, but people were able to join in, and we did a 3-day conference, and it turned out wonderful.
Definitely.
Really good. So we don't have that this year, but next year we'll have it. I don't know I think it'll be in Nebraska. I'm not sure which city is up next. I believe it's Omaha. And we will do it again and get together and find out things that we can do to further our community and to walk in the footsteps of these amazingly great women.
And how does one become a member before I have to say goodbye?
You can go to ncnwseattle.org and fill out information, and someone will contact you. If you know any NCNW members, if you can email Seattle, ncnwseattle@gmail.com. You can inbox me on Facebook. We have a Facebook page for the Seattle section, National Council of Negro Women. So there are many ways that you can join this great organization. And we're always looking for people to continue the work that we're trying to do.
Well, I'd like to say thank you to my listening audience. I hope that you've enjoyed this segment of Women's History Month, because there's more to come next week. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you.
Thank you so
have a
much.
great weekend. Be safe and live your life like it's golden. The Coronavirus Special Edition is next.
Thank you, Brenda, for having me.
You're welcome, Sarah, anytime.